What is up, my veggies? My name is VeggieTales Raymond, and welcome back to another movie review. Today we're reviewing It 2017. Spoiler, 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 spoiler. I have to go ahead and tell you, spoiler alert. I'm going to be giving out a bunch of spoilers in this video, so let's go ahead and talk about that. I'm going to review it with spoilers because I don't know how to talk about this movie without giving away spoilers. So, yeah. So the movie starts out with Bill making the boat for Georgie, and he sends Georgie down to the cellar to get some stuff so the boat will stay together in the water. He goes outside, obviously, and you get the iconic scene where the boat falls into the sewer, and that's when Georgie meets Pennywise. Now, when you first see him appear on screen, it's pretty creepy. All of a sudden, you just see that clown pop out of the sewer. It's like, whoa, man, we're barely into the movie and you're already freaking me out. And I can already say from the start of this movie that Pennywise is a lot more creepier than it was He's a lot more creepier in this movie than he was in the miniseries, which I believe came out I don't know when it actually came out, but I know it came out a while back. It's much better than the miniseries in my opinion. Just my opinion. So you get the whole scene going like, hey, we got tons of stuff down here. We got the whole circus down here. There's a lot more dialogue that's very different from the original. We still get a lot of the same dialogue in this scene, but he actually asks him, hey, why are you in the sewer? And he says oh, the whole circus was blown by the storm down here. And I'm like, stupid little kid, stupid little kid, stupid little kid. But yeah, that's pretty much what it said in that scene. And then he says, don't you want your boat back? And he reaches for the boat. And this movie takes advantage of its R rating. You legit see Pennywise bite off Georgie's arm. Like, seriously, and you see him trying to crawl away from the sewer, but then Pennywise grabs him and pulls him down. And then we start to get introduced to all our main characters, the Losers Club. First we actually meet Mike, which I'm surprised because in the miniseries you don't meet Mike until halfway through the kids portion of the kids part of them as kids in the miniseries. You don't get it's like halfway through when we meet him or something like that, and you learn, and then you jump from him to Bill and his friends, and then you go to Beverly, and then we go to Ben. And through all that, you start to learn, and after we get introduced to them, we start to learn all their fears, like what they're afraid of, because it shows as Pennywise is following them and all that, he takes form of their fears. Such as Mike, he's afraid of what happened to his parents that died in a fire, and he's afraid of that. And with Bill, he's afraid of afraid that Georgie is afraid of something about George, like he's afraid that he's never going to see Georgie again, or something like that. Beverly is afraid of her dad. Richie is afraid of clowns. You don't really see Richie's fear till later, I don't think. Stan is afraid of this weird painting in his dad's office. Ben is pretty much scared of all the creepy stuff that's happened in Derry, which that's a different thing for Ben, because Ben actually is the one who did all the research and stuff, or knew all the history and stuff about Derry, unlike Mike, where he knew all the stuff about Derry and all the information and stuff. But yeah, I hope I didn't leave anybody out when I listed all that out. Plus there is the bullies in this movie, which is Henry Bowers and his friends, and they're a little forgettable. Not forgettable, but like they're not forgettable. They're just sometimes they feel like typical bullies. You get like pretty much a shot from shot scene, not shot from shot, but you pretty much get a similar, very, very, very similar scene where he pushes Ben up against the fence and talking about cutting him. I don't think he actually cut him in the miniseries because he gets away before that, but he actually like carves an H into his stomach, which is very crazy. And in this one, there's not that area where they built the dam where they would all hang out. That area is not in this movie, which I'm surprised is not in this. But there's still chemistry and stuff between the friends and the groups, and in my opinion, some of the characters look a little older than they are as they did in because like for example, Beverly looks older than she did in the originals. And some of them look a little younger, such as like Reggie looks a little younger, but I don't know. I have no idea how old the characters are, but that doesn't change the story at all because it seems very interesting with the way the characters interact with each other. And just, I will say one thing, especially Reggie. These kids curse a lot. Well, like the main three of them, like Stan, Bill, and Reggie. Stan, Bill, and Reggie. Like those three curse a lot. I don't remember much of Mike cursing or Beverly or Ben. I don't remember much of them cursing, but those three cursed a lot in this movie, which didn't really bother me at all. And plus, this movie also had some humor. Like, it had more humor in it than I was expecting to have in it, and I was like, huh? Like, the humor was fine. It was funny when it was funny. It's not supposed to be a comedy, though. It's supposed to be a horror. And most of the... I'll get into more of that later. Let me get back to talking about the story. Okay, so the story continues on. We get to see them with all their fears. Oh, yeah, and I forgot about Eddie. Eddie as well. I forgot about Eddie. And Eddie is, like, afraid of germs and stuff like that. And then we get to see their fears and everything, and then they all finally meet together and become friends and all that. And there's a scene where they all hang out, they go swimming and stuff like that, and they get to know each other a little bit better. And it's a pretty interesting scene, if you ask me. And then there's each of them get encounters with Pennywise in some way or form, and I'm trying to remember the important parts. By the way, I just went and saw this last night, so I'm trying to remember everything I can. But like, yeah. And there's also the scene where the blood is all over her bathroom and her dad comes in. She can't see any of it, which is fairly crazy. Like, it weirds me out even more than it did in the original because it's all over the room instead of just being like in the sink, and he just comes in there and it just comes in there and it's everywhere and just so weird. And then that's when she brings all the boys over to see, am I crazy? Can you guys see this too? And all that. And then they start realizing about the clown and about Pennywise. And they have the scene where they go into the garage and do the slides and everything. And then it starts going through the slides. And then you start seeing Pennywise. And then Pennywise actually comes out of the slides, which I thought was actually really, really interesting. Like, I was like, whoa, that's something. And the jump scare that actually, I had my hat with me. Wherever my hat is, I was wearing my hat here, and I was like this. Like, I could feel the jump scare coming on, And that's where most of the scares come from this movie is the jump scares and stuff. That's where most of the scariness comes into it. The movie is creepy all around. I'm not gonna lie, the movie is fairly creepy, but a lot of the scares come from jump scares, which that's not necessarily a bad thing, but some of them are predictable. I jumped at most of the jump scares. Not gonna lie, there's like one that didn't make me jump, one or two. But yeah, so they decide to go look into the house, back to this house that where Pennywise lives, and like there's so much more we get to see more of Reggie's fear with just see some of Reggie's fear with the clowns, and we even get a little Easter egg of the original Pennywise, a little clown statue of the original Pennywise from the miniseries, which I thought was an interesting and a good little Easter egg thrown in there, saying, "Hey, we remember what existed." But yeah, that scene was really interesting to me when they brought that in there, because I thought like, oh yeah, they remember that this was a thing. And then there's like tons of stuff besides that where like Eddie breaks his arm after falling through the floor and landing on a table. And like Pennywise comes out of the fridge and he's like got broken bones too, but he's all like straight in him, and it's super creepy to watch. And then there's a scene where there's these doors and this is not scary, scary, very scary. And they go through the one that says not scary, and it's got a girl, her legs chopped off, like no legs, no torso. Oh, she had a torso, she like, didn't have any, like her legs are gone, and it's weird. And then like Bill's like, remember, none of this is real, this is not real, and they open the door back up, they're able to get back downstairs, and they see Pennywise about to attack, and then all the other kids come in there. They all come in there, and it's all. My mind is blank. All the other kids come in there, and when Pennywise is about to attack Eddie, and then like he says something like, "Is this not real enough for you, Billy? It was real enough for Georgie." And that's, you know, like, dude, nightmare fuel. Like, you seriously just like got a jug of nightmares, just poured it in my head when you said that line. But yeah, like, and then Ben's like, like Pennywise scratches the heck out of Ben, and you like see him start to take like his more creepy form, which I did not expect to see that early in the film, which was actually really interesting. And then there's like the scenes where later I'm trying to talk about it too much. There's like a later scene where Beverly tries to sneak out of the house. And yeah, she tries to sneak out of the house, and like her father's like, "Where are you going?" And it's like, and I can tell you one thing: her father's a creep. You get to see more of that in this than you could in the original, because you can tell he's a creep, like a bad person. You can tell he's a bad person, and she winds up hitting him in his man parts, and then kicking him in the face, running to the bathroom, getting like a vase or a toilet lid or something in the bathroom, and then whacking him clear across the head, knocking him out. And then after that, as a jump scare that scared the living crap out of me, she just turns around and Pennywise grabs her. And I'm like, whoa. And then Bill goes to her house, and then it turns out she's gone. Pennywise has her, and then he tells everyone, "Hey, the clown's got her, or it's got her." And then they all go to the house and go down to the sewer to get him, to go find him. And then there's another scene with Henry Bowers before then. There's another scene with Henry Bowers where, like, it says on the TV where his dad is sleeping and somehow his knife got back in he found his knife that he lost earlier in the movie. And he goes to his dad and lets him just sleep. And we kind of realize why Henry's a bully, because his dad is pretty much a bully to him. And his dad's a cop, so kind of weird if you ask me. Sorry, I'm mumbling for a second. And so, like, there's a thing where the clown, where Pennywise is getting into him through the TV saying, kill them all and all that. Kind of like how he does in the miniseries, but in the adult part, so it's in the kid part. And he kills his dad. Like, he puts, like, the switchblade, I think that's what it's called, the switchblade, where you just flick the button and it goes, boom, and just slides straight out. And he put it right up to his head, and then, like, right up to his neck, right here, and just flicks it, and kills him. Then we go back to this another scene where it's they're all at the house going down the well. Henry Bauer shows up again right before Mike goes down and tries to kill Mike, but then Mike winds up pushing him down the well. So that pretty much, I'm pretty sure it killed him, which was really, really, really crazy. Which is really, really crazy. But, like, and then there's the scene with where Beverly is in the sewer, or wherever they are with, and Pennywise is doing this weird little jiggy dance. I'm like, really? That was actually kind of funny, but when I looked at it, it got creepy with why it just had that blank stare, and she tried to run past it or something like that, and he just jumps out. And when you see Pennywise jump, it is creepy. He just picks her up and grabs her by the neck and, like, says, "I'm not scared of you," and everything, like, because pretty much she already faced her fear with her dad. And she's like, "I'm not scared of you," blah, blah, blah. And then, like, we get into the scene where they're all in the sewer. Then, like, Pennywise lures Stan away to his fear again. With his fear again, that weird painting lady. And it actually is gnawing on his face, about to, like, kill him, but then all the others come up, and then Stan accuses them of leaving him behind, but actually he's the one who wandered off. And it was actually fairly interesting to see that whole scene play out. But then we get to, while that's going on, Bill wanders off because he sees Georgie, and then everyone going, "Hey, where's Bill?" And then wind up getting to where Bethany is, and then Bethany's under this trance, and I forgot, Bethany, am I saying her name right? Beverly. Her name is Beverly. Why did I think Bethany? That's weird. Beverly. Where Beverly's in this trance, and a scene prior I forgot to mention where Pennywise opens his freaking face. And you get to see, like, the light, which I'm pretty sure it's called the death light, which is what Pennywise is. He's not a clown, he's light. I've tried to explain that to a few people, and no one's like, "No, that's not what Pennywise is. He's blah, 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 blah." No, Pennywise is actually that he takes the form of the clown because it's the most creepy or the most friendly towards kids, I guess. In today's society, clowns are creepy as heck, and people are terrified of them. Just remember last year in October, yeah, clowns are terrifying to a lot of people. But in that scene, while she's in her trance, that's what puts her in the trance. When they're in the trance, they pull her down, and believe it or not, True Love's kiss literally is what gets her out of the trance. And I thought it was funny. I'm like, I actually said this, I'm like, "Oh, really? True Love kiss in a horror film?" They didn't say that, but Ben kisses her. As you guys know, in the original miniseries, he writes her a poem and gives it to her, and she mistakes it for Bill being the one who wrote it. But then, after they kiss, she realizes that Ben is the one who wrote it. And then we go back to Bill, and he knows, like, I want you to be home more than anything else, but you're not Georgie. And he has, like, that gun thing that Mike used at the beginning of the movie that they have to use to, like, kill, like, livestock, like sheep and stuff, in a slaughterhouse. So, yeah, that's the beginning of he uses to. Which this scene messed me up. I was like, whoa. I knew it wasn't Georgie, like, the whole time he was talking to him. Like, saying, I want to come home. I want to see Mom and Dad. And then he's like, I know, but you're not Georgie. And he just does that, and you see him shoot Georgie, even though it's not actually Georgie, it's Pennywise. And there's this whole weird scene where he's all. That was weird at first, but then he, like, transforms from Georgie into Pennywise. Which I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That was crazy. And then he's attacking everyone, and he gets a hold of Bill. And he's like, oh, I'll kill him. I'll kill you all. Or you all can just leave. I'll just have him. And then I'll go into my long slumber. And then you will all have your lives. And then Reggie goes, like, into this whole thing where it seems like, oh yeah, I'm going to leave him, it seems like. And it was like, I said I didn't want to die. And now I got to kill this freaking clown. And now everyone is beating him senseless, stabbing him, hitting him with weapons, everything they can, attacking him, hurting him. And then he goes back into his slumber. And by the way, I forgot to mention, this also takes place in the 80s, when the original took place in, like, the 50s or 60s or something like that. And the thing that happens at the end, they finally they say, if he isn't dead, we will come back. But instead of just agreeing to do it, they actually cut their hands and do, like, a blood oath. Which, first thing I thought was, like, they were using a dirty, broken piece of glass. I was about to say, infection? You can get an infection from that. That was only my main concern. I was like, this is the blood oath. This is the, like, the promise saying we would come back. And changed it, or we would stop him if he comes back. And that scene is rather. And everyone leaves, and Ben and Beverly wind up being the last. Not Ben. Bill and Beverly wind up being, because I seemed like they were focused on the most out of the losers, the loser club or loser group, and they don't even consider to be losers at the end of the movie. But the loser group, those two are the last two left at the loser group location. If you understand what I'm trying to say, loser group. Like, they're the last two left after everyone leaves. And they talk, and then Beverly's leaving, and then, like, Beverly's moving because of, she has nowhere to go because of her dad and everything. So she's moving somewhere, like, with some other family. Someone in her family. She's moving. I don't know why I'm explaining that so much. But then there's a scene where she's walking off, and Bill runs up and kisses her. And then after that, they kiss again, and she, like, kisses him and everything. And I was so confused by that scene. Like, seriously, I'm like, wait, why is this happening? I thought there was a relationship with Ben, but then there was kind of the thing in the miniseries, which, well, I haven't read the novel, keep that in mind, so I don't know if it's connecting anything from the novel or not. I want to read the novel, but the novel's like this thick, and I do not own the novel. But a friend of mine does, and he said I could borrow it when sometime in the future. So maybe eventually I'll get to read it, or maybe I'll just get my own copy of it, because I have seen it in stores. Not for a big price. Maybe I'll go buy me a copy of it. But yeah, and that's pretty much where the movie ends. But then there's this whole thing about what was it called? Like, well, you get the title card at the end of the movie, obviously. And another thing about this movie, you actually get the title at the beginning of the movie, which a lot of movies I've realized haven't done that in a while. Movies that I've seen, they don't show the title of the movie till the end. This one had the title card at the beginning, and I also got the title card at the end, and it says, It Chapter 1. That basically confirms a sequel for this movie, which I think it's awesome. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And this movie is also, so we're pretty much getting a sequel, which I'm pretty sure the sequel is going to be about the adults, obviously. So, but another thing about this movie, it's showered with Easter eggs. In Bill's room, you get a Gremlins poster and a Beetlejuice poster, which that could be like probably hints that they're going to be remaking those movies or making sequels to those movies or something. That's possibly what those meant, or they were probably just Easter egg. And you got the Pennywise clown Easter egg that's in there, obviously, and you get a whole bunch of references to the '80s. You don't get a whole bunch like they don't hammer it into your head like this movie takes place in the '80s. They don't hammer that in your head. There's like a New Kids on the Block Easter egg in there because that's something Ben listens to, and yeah, so yeah, but the movie and the actors are pretty good. The acting is pretty good too, in my opinion. And everything, before going to see this movie, all things I heard nothing but good things, except for one of my friends who said it wasn't that good of a movie. But hey, I enjoyed it. And the actors in the film were good and everything. And the guy who played Pennywise, I'm sorry to say this to you, Tim Curry, but this guy has you beat. This guy has you beat with the Pennywise. He was much more creepier and everything. And like I said, there's still a lot of humor in this movie, and there's a lot of the especially Reggie cursing and everything, but that didn't bother me that much. But like the only thing I want to say about this, and I have noticed a lot of other reviewers have said this. If you are a kid, or you have, or yourself, or a teenager, or whatever, or you're an adult, you either used to have, or you have friends like this. I can point every single one of those characters in that movie. I can say, I have a friend like him. I have a friend like him. I have a friend like him. I have a friend like her. I had friends like all of these characters, or they could relate to those characters. I related to a few of the characters actually. So yeah. And my rating I'll give this movie a 4 out of 5 Pennywise, the dancing clowns, I guess. Yeah, but that was really good. I really enjoyed that movie. It was really good. It's probably one of my favorites of this year so far. I don't even know how many movies I saw this year so far. No, I've seen quite a few though. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please tap the like button down below, subscribe, leave me a comment, link my Twitter, Instagram, DeviantArt, Tumblr, and dailymotion will all be linked down in the description below, just like always. And do not forget to hit the notification button so you'll be notified when I upload videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!